Hello Taurus, welcome to your December 2022 tarot card and astrology readings. Congratulations, we made it to December. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Jane for those of you who are new. I am so grateful to have you here. So as always, these readings are separated into two segments. The first segment is going to be an intuitive tarot card reading, and the second segment is going to be an astrological prediction. So you're more than welcome to watch either segment first. All the timestamps are going to be found in the description box and the comment thread down below for easy access. You can watch for your sun, moon, or rising sign, although I do recommend watching your rising sign if you are concerned about having accurate house transit information. You can certainly watch for your Venus sign if you're here for love. And if you're interested in joining my Soul Seekers group, we would absolutely love to have you on there. Soul Seekers group is where I post exclusive content specifically geared for members, where we go more in depth on specific transits, and we have a little bit more educational information coming out on there as well. So please see the timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below to jump to each segment of the reading. I hope you guys have an amazing December. You know I love you, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello Taurus, welcome to your tarot card reading for December 2022. So let's go ahead and take a look with my intuitive deck to just kind of open up the channel here. What does Taurus need to know for December 2022? All right, you are, seems like you're getting tighter and tighter and tighter, closer and closer and closer into something really groundbreaking for you. So whether it's an idea that you've been brewing on for a while, or a lot of busy work that you've been doing in order to support a bigger idea, it's like things are coming together, and they're actually coming together quite quickly for you, Taurus. I don't know that this is going to be this long, stretched out, long-term thing. I think that a lot of the activity that you've been doing lately has been really conducive to your success. And I feel like you can tell. You can tell you're on the right track. You can tell that things are happening. Now, you may not receive, or you may not have received the results quite yet, but it's like that that's an inevitability. It is inevitable that you will receive results. It is inevitable that something will grow, or that you'll meet that person, whatever the case is. And you just keep focusing and focusing and focusing. It's kind of like a laser sharp focus for Taurus right now. I don't know that there's anything that anyone can do to really shift your focus at this point. They're going to have to work pretty hard to do it. I think you've sort of really dug your heels in here, and you're tapping into that beautiful Taurian determination that we love. That's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm making this happen. And Sagittarius season is really activating, here's the Tower, right? It's really activating the changes. Now we have the Tower in terms of what the universe needs from you, which means for some reason I'm hearing it's time to do it differently, which I know that you have been. And that's actually what this whole spiral really is. It's this culmination of a lot of different activity. Now, I don't mean a lot of different things, although maybe, but it's not like you're scattered. It's not like you're confused doing a million things. It's that all this activity is like not normal behavior, right? You're acting differently. Maybe you're working harder. Maybe you're incorporating something new into your daily regimen. And the beautiful thing is with this Jupiter happening, Jupiter is in Pisces. He'll be entering into Aries later on in December. But for now, he is offering a great deal of self-belief. For you, with this 11th house Jupiter, it's like we need to go beyond the limitations. We need to go beyond the known world. We have to go beyond the bounds in which we had been previously operating. And in order to do that, we have to have different technologies in order to do that. And for us, that means different action, different mindset, different people. You may be aligning with different people, which could be highly advantageous for you. So let's see what is going on in the environment. Page of Coins. Now the page is coming out really supportive for me right now. Like, this is not a major player in your life. Like, you probably don't talk to them every single day. You probably don't even interact with them every single day. It's probably just someone who comes in and out, but they're here to really usher in, like, they're here to illuminate some kind of a path. It's like, this is someone who could hold you accountable for your goals, or for the schedule that you've set yourself to, or for, some sort of task that you said you were going to do. It's small, but also really impactful. Like, if you know that this person is watching, you're more likely to do this. Maybe something had gotten a little too stagnant in your life because you knew no one was watching and no one really cared. And now it's like, oh, well, someone cares, or someone is paying attention, or, oh, there's a promotion on the line. I better really start to act like I want it, Something has triggered you into a new spiral that is behavior oriented. This does have a lot to do with Mars in the second house, by the way, doing a retrograde, really utilizing our skills and talents in new and unique ways for the sake of our own advancement. And for a lot of people, that will mean financial. I do like the fact that Mars is in a trine with Saturn, which is a positive aspect, because this can have positive effects on your careers, your jobs, and generally your life paths. All right, so what else does Taurus need to know for December 2022? Taurus, what else do you need to know here? King of Cups, Ace of Coins. There does seem to be a quality of validation coming through. The Page of Coins is great, but they may give you accountability, but they're not going to give you validation. The Ace of Coins is here to validate that what you have been doing is putting you or directing you in the right direction. King of Cups could be your energy. I think actually it is, because it does have that emotional stability factor. There is a quality of being in a tumultuous environment and yet still being really well grounded. And perhaps maybe that's your goal, is to create a life that is unaffected by a lot of what is going on in the external world. I feel like the King of Cups the word that's coming to my mind is shrewd. Right? There's this shrewdness, there's this cunning, and there's kind of this relentlessness. And maybe that's how you're really going about doing this, in a more relentless way, which is causing, maybe it's not even just one single tower, maybe it's multiple tower moments, lots of breakthroughs, lots of epiphanies, lots of points of okay, I'm officially changing the way I'm doing this. And I don't know, I think with that Ace of Coins, it's going to encourage you to keep going with these new things. With North Node conjunct Uranus, now this is the last month that Uranus is going to be conjunct the North Node. He's been conjunct ever since the end of July, beginning of August. So it was August, September, October, November, December. Uranus goes direct in the middle of January. So in the middle of January, North Node and Uranus are going to start to separate. And this portal, and I call it a portal, but really it's just a chunk of time. This period of time is closing, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I think you're feeling that sense of urgency, is because you can tell, and you're okay, I really need to get this in order. I need to get this going. I have to get this launched. It's really, really, really important for me to be able to do this. Although throughout the process, I'm not saying it's easy. There are a lot of fluctuations, right? The moon wanes, it waxes, it gets brighter, it gets darker, it goes up and down. There's all sorts of positioning for the moon. There's different degrees of intensity. So this does seem like quite the ride for Taurus. And this is not necessarily the most comfortable place for Taurus to be. But I think you are embracing this change, you're embracing these opportunities, and you are absolutely you're just in this place here now where you're just rolling with the punches, and it's like, all right, I'm not going to back down the way a bull doesn't back down. When it puts its head down and it starts to charge forward, it's not here to play a game of chicken. It's here to hit the target. So Taurus is not messing around with their goals right now. Saturn in the 10th house may have created stagnation in your career for the past couple of years. You may not have noticed a lot of growth. You may not have noticed a lot of excitement. Maybe it's gone a little cold. And now that Saturn is officially moving direct, now it's not happening in December, but it is starting to finish off. So in March, we're going to notice that transition, but it's going to start to melt. The iciness of that 10th house, career, public life house, it's going to start to melt and things are going to start to even off. All right, so 6 of coins, 5 of swords. All right. With the fluctuations of the moon, okay, this amount of effort and this dedication and this commitment and this hard work, it does mean that you're going to have to confront aspects of yourself, right? Because when you hit new challenges and you have to learn new things and you have to admit that maybe this other thing you were doing was probably not the best, when you have to go through that process, it can be really triggering. And I wouldn't be surprised, Taurus, if you had multiple triggers. We've got the Tower card out here. So there is an electric quality in the air through December. There's more of a charge. And you're going to have to really ask yourself, I don't know that this is even how much you want it. I think you've already determined, okay, yes, this is what I want, because the wheel is already in motion. That momentum it's not even the first part of the momentum. It's already happening, right? It's like when you are skiing for the first time and you realize that slope is just getting steep enough that now gravity is going to start doing the work and you're officially going to get pulled down to the bottom of that mountain one way, shape, or form. And the desire to maybe pump the brakes is there, but the real challenge is don't pump the brakes. You don't have to pace yourself. There may be a desire to fall back on this stability. Now, stability is great and it's good. And I know that what you're doing is building that stability, but building in a tumultuous environment can in and of itself be chaotic. So if you are experiencing chaos, if you're getting triggered a lot, but you're growing, please don't pump the brakes. This is what happens when people start to self-sabotage and they start to, 5 of swords, I can do it on my own. I don't need your help. With the 6 of coins, I'm no, you are going to need some help. You're going to have to ask people. Page of coins, very supportive. This could also be, and I know I described this one way, but it could also be someone who is willing to assist in some way, shape, or form, that there are actual tasks or things that they could shoulder the responsibility for and take it off your plate a little bit. And it could be small menial things. Maybe it's your significant other saying, oh, you know what, I'll cook dinner tonight, or I'll go run this errand, or I'll go help the kids with this, or whatever the case is, so you can focus on your thing. The tendency to want to snap into that self-reliant behavior that Taurus is always no, I don't need help, I can do it by myself, that may be there. But if you don't allow yourself to shoulder everything, this is going to start spinning faster and you're going to get to the result faster, which was the whole point anyway. You want to get to the results. You want more money. You want more career. You want better friends. You want to travel. You want that stuff. So why are you pumping the brakes and prolonging the time frame to bring it to yourself? Throughout this process too, you're going to have to release your anger and your sadness and your fear. And that's going to be forced Because it's like, if you want to, right, when you're growing something new and you're starting to incorporate a lot of new behaviors, you're going to have to confront a lot of the reasons why it used to be the way it was and why you allowed stuff to happen before. And when you confront those issues, but you're still determined to power on, this is going to be a natural effect, because you confront the fear or the anger or the sadness and you offer it whatever respect it needs, whatever respect it deserves. And then you release it by not letting it win. And there's a lot of conquered energy. Like, I think Taurus is going to conquer a lot throughout Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season especially, so the first part of December before the sun comes into Capricorn, because of that 8th house relationship there. So 8th house does want to kind of dunk you under. This can be a very scorpionic quality. Well, we don't have Scorpio really in the chart right now, but we have the 8th house still. So it can really dunk you under. But if you roll with the punches, it's almost like a baptism. And you can go into the 8th house one way and you can come out of the 8th house a completely different way. And it's like a baptism or a revival or a resurrection, like you're back from the dead finally, you know, with Saturn in the 10th. Have you just been kind of in zombie mode with something? Not everything, but at least one area of your life. There's like new life coming in for Taurus. 6 of Wands. 5 of Wands. Certainly a lot of activity. That's without question. And 9 of Wands. These are very interesting cards. We only got one major arcana, the Moon. So that's kind of the winner in the 9-card block, which can be, you know, an unknown path. You can't see that far ahead of yourself. You can only really see a few steps ahead, and that's it. But maybe that's actually a good thing, because you know that those little steps are leading you to the big picture. Like, I know that you know that. You know that you know that. So now it's a matter of having faith in that process, having faith in the accomplishments, and having faith in the healing. It's like the more and more you accomplish right now, the more healed you get. And I'm not saying we ever like fully, completely become this perfectly whole person or whatever, but at least those pains and those wounds no longer dictate whether or not we go do something or not. You see what I'm saying? And 6 of Wands, it does indicate victory and success for Taurus, meaning you're going to have multiple things that you will be victorious with. And it's going to feel good. You're going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel blessed and so grateful that you didn't shy away from this moment. Because I think this is a powerful moment that is in many ways reshaping your future. And you just decided to just dive right in there the way a Taurus, it's like Taurus and Scorpio, like when they commit, it's like, oh, it's all in. Like Leo and Aquarius too. But Taurus and Scorpio especially, because they have that density with the earth and water, where fire and air are a lot less dense. And earth and water, though, there's a heftiness to it. So there's weight. So is that wheel? It's not just like a little snowball going down the mountain. It's like a big ball of lead, right? There's a heaviness there. So chaos, yes. 5 of Wands, arguments, a little bit of struggle. But honestly, I think this is something that you can thrive off of. Please do not be afraid of the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands instills within us a desire to do something, because it can be that triggering component. Someone can come in and piss us off really fast, and we can get angry and frustrated. And then almost to kind of prove to ourselves and prove to them, then we end up doing it. So there's nothing to shy away from here. Confrontation may actually be Taurus's best friend. And I know you don't normally get confrontational. It depends on your own individual chart, I suppose. But normally Taurus, Venus ruled, it has to get pushed really far to get to a 5 of Wands. But everyone's a little bit more fickle right now because of Mars in Gemini. So this is more likely to happen more quickly than what you're used to. But I think it will feel good. And in a lot of ways, it will feel like a release. Now, the moon can be highly retentive, meaning it stores everything. So something is being released for you, and it probably has been the very thing that has been blocking you from any degree of success in this desired area. And with the 9 of Wands, there is a degree of privacy and kind of keeping people out. This one can go one of two ways. It can be either offensive or defensive. Right now, I'm feeling it's a little bit defensive, like you're more in guarded mode, which can be problematic because, again, utilizing other people and their resources, knowledge, skills, whatever, can be highly beneficial for you right now. But with the scales here, it does signify a balance between you asking other people for help and you doing it yourself, right? Because you don't want to be one of those people that relies so heavily on someone else to do something for you. But it's like, if you could just teach me this one, like teach me how to fish so that I can fish. Let's use that analogy. This is someone teaching you how to fish, but you have to ask someone how first. And maybe it does take you a little bit of practice in order to learn how to fish. So you kind of go in the privacy, like you go to the river in your own time where no one's around, so you can just practice and make all the mistakes so you can work on your craft. For some reason, I feel like Taurus is wanting to work on their craft and all of the things that support their craft as well. So if you are, starting some kind of a creative business or trying to launch something, it's not just about the creations themselves. There's a lot of things that go around that, like marketing or distribution or something like that, okay? So I know you're kind of working in many different areas, and some areas are brand spanking new, where maybe you don't know anything. Maybe you even feel like you're a little bit behind. So in order to catch up, you have to close people out so you can learn the way you know that you will learn. Yes, you're still pushing, but you are also still honoring what you need. All right, let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new here, hold on. The cards I'm about to pull out are the cards that we will cover in the comprehensive reading. Normally we talk for 25 to 30 extra minutes, so it's kind of like a whole second reading. There are multiple ways to purchase. There are single purchase options and subscription options. So please just read the description box in the comment thread down below to make sure you select the right choice for you. Everything down there below in the description box in the comment thread. Okay, so we're going to first start off with clarifying the Tower card. So this is, what else does the universe need from you, Taurus, or what else is going on with you? Making magic over here the way you do. That's good. 9 of Cups. Why would Taurus settle for anything less than all of their hopes and dreams coming true? You wouldn't. 4 of Wands. Now we have the environment. Okay. Knight of Swords. Page of Wands. And last but not least, for the environment. Ooh, another moon card. Okay. Nothing is set in stone for you right now. A lot is up in the air, and it's going to depend on what you create. It's like, one thing that popped in my head this week was like, the world is just waiting for your brain to tell it what to do. And maybe that's what's going on for you. The world is just waiting for your brain to tell it what to do. All right. We have another page of coins, beautiful, with the seven of swords for the King of Cups. Two of Swords. Three of Wands reversed. Ooh, Five of Wands reversed. That's good. And Four of Coins. I actually like the Four of Coins for you right now. Lovers reversed. King of Swords reversed. And Two of Coins. Page of Swords, another King of Cups. And Judgment reversed. Nine of Cups reversed, which contradicts the Nine of Cups upright over here. Three of Swords reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, so there's a copy or a mirror there. Nine of Swords. Hierophant, well, there's the Taurus card that we love. Queen of Cups. An Eight of Swords. Strength. Three of Cups, beautiful. Your perseverance is going to pay off big time. Ooh, another Tower. More triggers on triggers here. But for this, I always say the Tower is like the Wheel of Fortune in disguise. And look, we actually got the Wheel of Fortune right on top of the Tower. So we cannot complain. The Hermit. Three more cards for the Nine of Wands. We have the Four of Swords. We have Ten of Cups reversed. And we have the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. We're going to talk about all these new cards. So again, all the information in the description box in the comment thread down below. Thank you all so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to the astrology portion of your December 2022 reading. So what I want to do here is I just want to do a quick rundown of the major transits that we'll experience throughout the month. Now, first and foremost, obviously, December 1st, we are starting the month with the sun well on its way through Sagittarius at 9 degrees. So we've already had that activation as of the end of November. And for you, this is 8th house. So you may start, be really feeling that kind of blossoming effect that the 8th house often brings. There can be a humbling experience sometimes that motivates new decisions and new ways of being. And there can also be some kind of a new perception that really comes to mind, the way you perceive yourself, the way you perceive someone else. There could be, certain collaborations that start to take shape during this time as well, which could be really productive for you too. So sun sitting at 9 degrees as of December 1st. Now, the very first big transit that we experience is Neptune going direct, which happens December 3rd. So just a couple days in. Now, this is especially emotional. Neptune and Pisces, that's just the nature of it. And the surfacing of emotion can be really cleansing, almost baptismal, where we sort of purge and purify ourselves. And we have that opportunity to release a lot because Neptune and Pisces is all about surrender and sacrifice and letting things go. And, there's a lot of mercy and compassion that comes through with this. So the last week of November, first week of December, we are going to be feeling the effects of Neptune. And but it's not going to really detract from a lot of the tasks at hand. It's something that's just kind of happening in parallel. It's like the more we act, the more we do, the more we accomplish, the harder we work, the more gets purged. And right now, healing is not being done by
meditation and isolation and spiritual work and breath work. I'm not saying you can't do that stuff. By all means, do it if you want to, but that's not really where healing is going to come from right now. It's going to come from the things that you do and you proving to yourself that you can, and getting over the issues of self-worth and the issues of not deserving and of scarcity and of fear and sadness and anger, and you just leveraging all of that into something great and saying, you know what, in spite of everything that happened, in spite of my wounds, in spite of my pain, and even in a way, in spite of my impermanence, I am still going to make something great. Okay, so that's the first week, and it's going to be a lot, and we'll all feel it in our own special and unique ways. Some of us may pull away a little bit, others may go be a little bit more social. I don't know, but either way, we're all processing it, and we are purging and purifying with it, which can be really fantastic. Now, as the week goes on, December 6th, Mercury comes into Capricorn, which officially is going to activate your 9th house. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde at the end of December on the 29th. So Mercury, he is going to kind of enter in through his pre-shadow phase. I personally, through my own observations, now this may be because I'm a Mercury ruled sign, so this may or may not apply to you. It's just something that I've noticed. Mercury pre-shadow, like Mercury retrograde pre-shadow, is usually stronger than the retrograde itself. So if you are experiencing weird communication issues or something like, Mercury things throughout December, it's probably because it's in pre-shadow. So don't be surprised. So he comes in on December 6th. The next day, December 7th, we are going to have a full moon down here in the second house, conjunct Mars. Now, this particular full moon is going to be action oriented. This is what I'm saying. Our healing takes place by taking action and checking things off the to-do list and getting ourselves closer to our goals. People who sit idle right now, I mean, we're all at different places of healing. We are all at different places of, our careers and our money and our relationships. We're all just in different places. But I don't think complacency is the way to go, because it may implode in on itself. And especially not for Taurus, because this North Node Uranus conjunction, this is the last full month of this conjunction. Uranus goes direct in January, middle of January. And that means that Uranus and the North Node are going to start to separate. They have been together since the beginning of August, through all of August, September, October, and November. It has been 4 months. We have had 4 months of an opportunity to make some big substantial change in our lives in order to create or manifest the life that we are wanting. This is the last month. And I think a lot of people are feeling that sense of urgency. And this full moon in conjunct Mars is going to be illuminating. Okay, when the moon is full, there's light. And when Mars is involved, it's like there's an illumination on the action that needs to be taken. So there's going to be a feeling of surety during that time. All right, Neptune will be going direct already by then, by the 7th. It's a few days away, so he's still moving really slow, but at least he's not stationing, all right? So he's starting to move in that external world. And we're going to have the clarity in terms of which steps need to be taken in order to progress. And then on December 9th, Venus also moves into Capricorn. Now, Venus has not been in Capricorn since the beginning of 2022, where she did her retrograde back and forth, dragging across Pluto. Now, if you think back to January, February, and March of 2022, there's kind of a closure on what was going on at the beginning of this year. Okay? A lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people had a very challenging time at the beginning of 2022. things went awry. Finances were weird. Relationships were very weird. And now Venus gets to come back to this place where she was put through a lot. And it's kind of like returning to the scene of the crime. Like, have you ever have you ever been living somewhere and had something bad happen to you? So you move away and you create this whole life and 20 years pass, and then you have an opportunity to go back there and you go back to that place where that thing happened and you realize what a completely different person you are. I kind of feel like that's the energy that Venus returning back to Capricorn is bringing. Like looking back to the beginning of the year and saying, wow, I really am a completely different person. I really am in a completely different place. My life is different. My mind is different. My health is different. My emotions are different. And there is no going back, and there is no more pain of what was going on before. All right. So it kind of is like a triumphant return for Venus, I feel. Okay, so that's on the 9th. And then we don't really have a lot happening until the 20th. Now that's when Jupiter comes into Aries. Jupiter comes into Aries, activates your 12th house here. Now this does have a lot of isolating qualities to it. I wouldn't be surprised if Taurus was trying to balance social versus private with a tendency toward being alone, but also feeling compelled to be involved with a lot of stuff. 12th house, there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of mental healing, a lot of release and surrender, but also a lot of creativity and a lot of channeling can happen through here as well. When Jupiter comes through, there could also be an indication of a limitless belief in oneself, similar to a Neptune energy a little bit, since Neptune and Jupiter are both rulers of Pisces. So there's this quality of just growing bigger and growing into your potential and growing in not only spiritual ways, but in materialistic ways as well. And you're going to start to feel that shift as Jupiter is starting to speed up. He is going to move very quickly through Aries. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but May of 2023 is when Jupiter comes into Taurus. So, he's going to be moving quickly through January, February, March, April, and only half of May. It's like 5 months, 4.5 months-ish for Jupiter to be in Aries, okay? And then we have on the 21st, the sun then coming into Capricorn, which means we will have the sun, Venus, and Mercury. Now, by that time, Mercury is going to be slowing way, way, way down as he prepares for his retrograde just on the 29th. So the 21st, the sun comes in. Now, that's the winter solstice, which means that the darkness is starting to... yes, it's the longest night, but that's the time when the sun starts to gain a little bit of power. Yes, the nights are still longer, but they're not as long. So there is a little bit of hope during this time, especially for you with that 9th house activation. A lot of optimism, a lot of future focus. I do think Taurus is they're wanting to really think about what's coming down the line in 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, and thinking that far ahead and trying to figure out, well, if this is where I want to be in 10 years, what needs to happen today? And there's kind of this quality of back engineering everything. Okay, well, if this is my 10-year goal, where should I be in 5 years? Where should I be in 1 year? Where should I be in 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, this week? Right? You're getting very specific, and Saturn in the 10th house is helping with that specificity, as is Mars retrograde in Gemini, giving you that more industrial, hardworking nature to really start ticking off those task boxes, right? Check, check, check. This is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. And actually, the more and more you can do that, the more habitual it's going to become. And the more habitual that becomes, the more likely you are to just kind of keep doing it. It's one thing to say, oh, New Year's resolutions, we're going to do it and do it for 3 weeks and then we stop doing it. If we kept going, if we kept going to the gym every day, imagine where we would be in 6 months. So that's going to be beautiful for Taurus, I think, is just the potential longevity of all of this. Okay, so that's the 21st, the sun comes in. And then on the 23rd, right? So a lot is happening. Jupiter comes in on the 20th. The 21st, we have the sun coming into Capricorn. The 23rd, we have the new moon in Capricorn, and Chiron goes direct. So those 4 days, 20, 21, 22, and 23, there's a lot of astrological activity. For many who celebrate Christmas, that's obviously right before Christmas, so there could be a lot of movement and stuff going on there. New moon in Capricorn, mixed with Chiron going direct, it could be a really emotional day. The moon is in detriment in Capricorn. It is also in the Saturnian decan, meaning it's even more weak at that particular degree, 1 degree of Capricorn. It's even weaker. It's in a very harsh environment, and it's dark. So this could be a time of questioning. And if you are tempted to self-sabotage ever, this is probably going to be a time when that energy will be illuminated a little bit more than normal. The desire, because with that full moon and conjunct Mars, it's like, okay, yes, let's take off, let's do it, let's go. And you feel really sure. But then 2 weeks go by, Chiron is basically not moving during that time. And you're like, man, am I really sure? Is this really, like, am I cut out for this? Can I really do the work? Am I really valuable? Like, all those questions are really going to come out and maybe haunt you a little bit. But this is your time to say, I don't want to engage in that kind of self-talk. I don't want to engage in that kind of narrative. That is not helpful for me spiritually. Because with Chiron in the 12th house, there is a lot of spiritual healing that must take place for Taurus. And all the times that you talked yourself down off of something that could have been great, and all the times that you didn't listen to your intuition and it got you into some crappy situation, right? This is your time to kind of make up for that and say, you know what? Soul, body, heart, mind, I'm going to listen to you this time. I'm really going to listen, and I'm not going to let that devil on my shoulder win, because that devil, Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, it's going to have a lot to say. And it's going to speak to you unconsciously, right, through that moon quality. It's going to, it's going to try to speak. It's just a matter of whether or not you're going to follow. I think right now Taurus needs to, dance to the beat of their own drum with Uranus in their sign. Okay, so I don't want Taurus to play it safe. I don't know that that's the best strategy for you guys. It's not really the best strategy for anybody right now, but especially not for you, since you're the host of this North Node Uranus thing. And then the last big thing of the year is Mercury going retrograde, which I already talked about. Now it's at 24 degrees, so he's not officially coming into a full conjunction with Pluto, although Pluto's influence will likely be felt as Mercury turns around. At the beginning of the year, obviously January 1st, will start off with a Mercury and Mars retrograde. And Uranus will be retrograde still as well, but most of the other planets will be going direct, which means January could have a lot of productivity to it because of that. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much, Taurus. I love you. Have an amazing December, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.